I got another story for you. You sent me this text, and I was like, why did Manno just send me an hour and 36-minute long YouTube?
Is that what I sent you?
Yeah, because you gave me the link to the YouTube of Rampage Jackson, Rampage Jackson's son. And I'm not a huge wrestling guy.
Okay.
So I'm like, why did he just send me a bootleg minor league? Like, I'm like, man, he's got to get a life. I'm like, you got to find something to do. But I start digging. I do a little deep dive. I'm going down this rabbit hole. All of a sudden, I'm like, what on earth am I watching? Do you want to set the details for everybody about what transpired over the weekend? Because it's been pretty crazy.
Well, first, I've never mistaken myself for a tech guy, so forgive me for that. I was not trying to do that for you on the weekend. But yeah, I mean, it's a crazy story, and it's taken over social media. So basically, the story is Rampage Jackson, Rampage's son, was a guest, I suppose, at what we call an independent wrestling event over the weekend, where he was supposed to come in and do what's called an angle, and that's basically like a story within this thing with a guy named Psycho Stu, okay? Psycho Stu is a professional wrestler. Apparently, he's a veteran with PTSD, so you hate to see anything bad happen to a guy like that anyway, who uses wrestling to sort of kind of cope with his PTSD. Well, long story short, there's a bunch of videos have come out since, but at the end of the day, Rampage Jackson went in there and about 20 times just hauled off and really, I mean, obviously, pro wrestling is such an interesting world because you never know, even till this day, as we went through this story, you don't know how much of it. They have something called a work and a shoot. A work is basically, this is planned. This has been talked about before. We all understand what's going to happen. And a shoot is where things sort of go off the wire and guys, you know, they do the thing for real. So how this started was there was like a backstage video that came out where the guy Psycho Stu like disrespected Rampage's son back there, hit him over the head with a beer can. And then later on is the actual show. And it looked like it started according to plan because it looked like the guy Psycho Stu kind of cooperated in the beginning. But then before long, it looked like Rampage's son just kind of snapped. Deli or Malik, if we can play that video, we have the video of the actual incident, and then we can kind of dig into it from there.
So this is him coming in the ring.
Yeah,
this is supposed to be the act.
And it looks like an act because this guy's completely cooperating. Picks him up, slams him, but and then, now, boom.
And maybe one or two.
But I mean, any of them.
Right.
And
those are real blows.
Oh, yeah.
Because nobody knows. Like, sometimes you can't tell from behind.
Yeah, well, this guy's not a pro wrestler, so for them to look that real, you'd think the guys would notice quicker. These guys are supposed to be the professionals, and man, it got ugly quick, and you hear everything from he's flatlining to this guy might not make it through the night, and it's just been crazy, and it's been all over social media the last 2 or 3 days. Now we're finding out more about the video that we're about to play where Rampage's son is MMA training, and he takes a shot to the head, apparently concussed him, and he maybe wasn't supposed to even take part in it. But again, then he seems completely alert and aware of what he's doing afterwards, and it's just the whole story itself is just so ugly.
Are they trying to use some sort of like CTE, like concussion excuse, saying he wasn't mentally there? Is that what they're trying to do?
What I think they're trying to spin it into is that, like the shot that he took the day before sort of put his lights out a little bit, and he wasn't healed and sort of kind of just like snapped midway through, which is crazy because you hear him. And then there's just so many weird things going on. Like his dad happened to be on one of the biggest like live streams in the country with a guy named Sneeko, who's like super well known, and he got his reaction on film live right there. So the fact that it's a wrestling thing, and the fact that a bunch of stuff has come out with definitely part of it is real,
right?
But there's I'm sure. I mean, over the next couple of days, we're gonna have to really dig into what where that wrestling angle ends and this real life stuff begins, because it's interesting. He hasn't been arrested yet. Everything is on film right there, clear as day. Under normal circumstances, that's assault, or, I mean, that might have even been attempted murder. He hit him 22 times in the face.
That's the count, 22 times.
I think I've heard everywhere from 20 to 27, and I think I counted 22. But
so here's where it gets problematic. We're talking about a sport that is orchestrated, that is fake in wrestling, and then you kind of mix it with somebody coming in from the outside who comes from a very real sport. And it does blur the line. So do you remember when Myles Garrett got into it with the quarterback for the Steelers, Mason Rudolph?
Yes.
Remember he took the helmet off?
Oh, yeah.
And swung it at him?
For sure.
And there were people that said, oh, you got to arrest him. You have to arrest Myles Garrett. I thought that was ridiculous because I thought that's in the heat of competition.
Yeah, sure.
Any sort of fight that breaks out on a field of competition, whether it's basketball, football, any kind of between the lines, if you lose your cool, I'm like, no, that's like exempt from the law.
Not premeditated, right?
Right, not premeditated, which might be flawed thinking, but I just feel like that's a unique situation. I'm usually pretty liberal in that mindset of, you know what, you lose your temper, it's a sporting event. This one, I'm more like, no, he's got to get arrested. Like he needs to face charges of assault. And maybe that's at a minimum, because I think you could have much more serious charges based on how violent he was and what the damage he could have done, because he could have killed him.
Well, if the story that is kind of taking shape is the real story, you see him get hit with this beer can. I think we have that video too earlier, almost like it looks like an initiation thing where the guy just absolutely hauls off and cracks him in the head with the beer can. And at that point, you can understand, like, maybe he's had 2 or 3 hours to think about it now, and this is what he decided he's going to do. At that point, I think it takes it from a in the heat of the moment thing to a premeditated thing, because this is the video here.
This is like backstage before the event, right?
So if he gets hit here in the head and automatically just hauls off on him, I can almost give you that self-defense, like it was unpremeditated. He's had a bunch of hours afterwards, and from there he goes ahead and takes action like this. It almost seems like a redemption type of thing. At that point, it's been well thought out.
So here comes the beer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's it. No, it didn't even faze that kid.
No, but that wasn't like fake either.
No.
Were they trying to teach him? Like, was that supposed to be a move?
Well, this is the thing. Like, this part here seems like a wrestling story.
Right.
Like, we're going to build up some heat for this match tonight, and people are going to want to see it.
I know you will.
It's so tricky, man. I don't know.
Because I saw Raja after the fight walking in the street, like leaving the venue. And again, everything's filmed, so it feels kind of very planned. And they are making up before the fight, supposedly making up so they can go to work that night.
Right.
But after the fight, I saw Rampage Jackson saying, they clowned me.
Yeah.
They can't clown me. No one's going to clown me. I'm going to get mine. And on the hour and 36-minute clip you sent me, which I did see a part, he actually says, nah, I'm going for real.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show him what I can do. This is the part where he's talking about don't clown me. He's got blood on his shirt still. Yeah. And then a couple wrestlers come out. They're trying.
Everybody playing with me and shit. I'm always playing and shit. Call me shit.
Yeah, there he's lost it. Like there he's mentally like lost it. That feels real. But again, how do you tell the difference between real and fake when you're blurring this line all the time?
Yeah, and as you like look into some of the backstory and stuff on Raja, now granted, I don't know very much about him, so I don't want to step out of line here, but there's a clip from his father, who's the famous Rampage Jackson, and they talking about his 3 kids. Apparently he has 2 other kids, and they say, have you put money away for their futures? And he says, well, for 1 and 2, I put money away for their future. And for Raja, I put money away for his bail. So apparently he's got like a temper on him, which is tough. These guys, I mean, not that any part of it I condone or the wrestler, deserves that. But you have to know, you got to know this kid is not a trained pro wrestler. He's an MMA guy who comes from a tough background. And this is this is a thing that could always happen. You got to.
It is a story to keep an eye on. We'll see. Yeah. I did see a report said the LAPD was looking into it if they would arrest him, so we'll keep an eye on that.